Sababhyaha Sabhavatibhyascha. Let us go through the meaning of every word there. Bharata, O descendant of the Bharata race, that is Arjuna. Gacha, go or attain or take. Sharanam, shelter or refuge. Sarva bhavena, with all the feelings and with all your beings and thinking. Tam, in him, H capital, eva, only. Tat, by that or by him. Prasadat, by his grace. Propsyasi, you attain. Param, supreme, shantim, peace or tranquility. And shashvatam, permanent or eternal, sthanam, place or position or abode. So this, in the 62nd verse of the 18th chapter, Krishna is informing about and elaborating, saying that Arjuna as an ardent disciple should take complete shelter and surrender to the ultimate or the supreme reality or to Lord Krishna. From the 56th verse of this 18th chapter to the present and the next verse, here S-VYASA has elaborated on the implementation of the message and the advice and the teachings given by Krishna in the last 17 chapters. So he elaborates saying, as a part of the bhakti yoga or the path of devotion, ultimately every devotee should surrender to the Lord finally to attain supreme bliss and tranquility. For this to happen, he says, you have to completely surrender your mind, body, heart and the consciousness. It is a total surrender as elaborated by Sri Ramanuja in his Sharanagati Gadya, Prapatti Sharanagatihi, absolute surrender at the lotus feet of the Lord. Then, having attained that, you will get the grace of the supreme reality. In order to obtain the ultimate bliss and deliverance or freeing oneself from the shackles of birth and death and the meshes of ignorance, one has to ultimately surrender, through which he can attain the final abode, Shashvatam Paramam Padam. That was what elaborated in the Rig Veda, in the first mandala of the 22nd mantra, 28th sukta, Tad Vishnoho Paramam Padam. Tad, that, Paramam, the supreme, Padam, place of Vishnoho, Lord Vishnu. The Vaishnavite call it as Vaikuntha, which is the ultimate abode for all the living beings of the world. In the previous verse he had told, Huddesher Juna Tishtati. So the supreme reality is already present in our hearts, and the supreme reality or Parabrahman has already been present as the individual soul, but because of the karma or the actions and the vasanas of the previous birth or the previous birth, that is the prarabdha and the sanchita karma, we are unable to understand this reality which is present within us, for which the grace is required. So Krishna elaborates again and again, saying that his grace is very much required, because in the 10th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita he has already told Param Brahma Param Dhama. The ultimate goal of all the living beings of the world is to attain the supreme Brahman or the reality or the abode of Vaikuntha, which is the Param Brahma, the ultimate reality, and Param Dhama, Param the supreme, the ultimate Dhama. The same was elaborated in the Brahma Sutras in the first pada of the 4th verse, for which to happen Tat tu Samanvayat. Tat by that too, but Samanvayat by the harmony. To get the harmony of the mind, harmony of the body, harmony of the intelligence, the antakaranas are leading to the harmony of the consciousness or the supreme reality, through which one can attain the complete bliss, which was elaborated by the commentators, where they say, Hruddeshe tishta stitva shasta jananam. This is the sentence we find. That means the Supreme Lord stays or resides in our heart, and He guides the people, He commands the people to do whatever the activity we perform in this world outside. But for this to happen, for this prasada to happen, the mind should be calm and quiet. But it is disturbed, agitated, as elaborated by Sri Ramakrishna Paramahamsa in his Kathamrita, where he says the basic nature of the mind is calm and quiet and tranquil like the crystal clear water of the lake. But what happens is that because of we get interacted with the external world, people, places, things, the mind gets agitated, disturbed, and this disturbed mind cannot foresee or perceive the absolute reality. On account of that, the mind should be made very clear, should be established with tranquility and calmness and serenity. And the next step is the grace of the Lord, which comes, which he has already elaborated in the 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, wherein he says, Sarvasya chaham hrudi sannivishtaha. The same is was repeated in the 65th verse. Sarvasya, for all the animate and living beings of the world, aham, I, Sannivishtaha, is residing. So time and again Krishna has told in the Bhagavad Gita through S-VYASA that the supreme ultimate reality resides in us, but we are not aware of it owing to ajnana at the individual level and avidya at the global level. So we have to get rid of this ajnana by coming out of the trigunas and the shackles of Prakriti, and so that you will be free from avidya or the nescience which has covered the entire universe. But it may continue to have for the other people of the world, but to the people who have the grace of the Lord will be free from this ajnana and avidya, for which to happen they should totally surrender to the Lord, just as Veera or Radha, surrender to Lord Krishna. In the same way, it was Sri Ma Sharada Devi totally surrendered to Sri Ramakrishna, which was absolute devotion, total devotion, Parama Prema Swarupa. That is the ultimate objective and aim of all the living beings of the universe, and that's how we should train our mind in this regard. Yoga helps, and the wonderful techniques developed by Guruji will help you to get that great achievement or to attain that state over a period of time. So that is what elaborated in this chapter, which is very, very important, because it is the Shashwatam Param Avyayam, which is the indestructible, immutable, unchangeable place from which there is no return. So this can happen in this life, or as told by Swami Vivekananda repeatedly in his Chicago address elsewhere, and now. It can happen here and now. I am sure S-VYASA is moving in that direction under the noble guidance of our Honorable Chancellor, Dr. H.R. Nagendraji. Namaskar, Dhanyavad. Just before we end up with the Shanti Mantra, I just wanted to mention that a greatest religious and a spiritual event is happening on this Saturday in Bangalore Palace grounds. Our Jagat Guru of Shrungeri, the world preceptor, Bharati Tirtha Mahaswamiji, completed his 50 years of his staying in that position as Jagat Guru. In order to commemorate it, last year There was Abhiyana all over Karnataka given by the Kriya Swami Vidushekara Mahaswamiji that the Shankara's Kalyana Vrishti Stava consisting of 16 verses, then that of the Shiva Panchakshara Stotramala consisting of 27 verses, each line consisting of 4 lines and ending with Om Namah Shivaya, and the Lakshmi Nrisimha Stotra consisting of 27 verses has been recited by more than 5 lakh people all over Karnataka, from a young boy or a girl of 5 years to 80-year young lady. 2 lakh ladies are assembling on that day, Saturday, at 10:30. You are all welcome in Tripura Puranivasini Palace, gate number 2. Gate number 2 should be present 1 hour or 1.5 hours earlier, because the Honorable Vice President of India, Jagdish Ji is coming in order to grace the occasion. At that time, our Sringeri Junior Swamiji, Vidushekara Mahaswamiji will be there also to bless all of us. Along with this movement was started by Shankara Bharati Swamiji of KR Nagar in the last 1 year. Just 2 weeks ago, he met the Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji to get the blessings. It's a greatest event which happens once, perhaps in 10 or 15 years. You are all welcome. I will send you the Google link also. It will be it will be telecast live all over the world. Namaskar, Dhanyavad.
I request to Sridhar sir to host the flag after the Shanti Mantra. Shanti Mantra. Sarve bhavantu sukhinaha, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kaschid dukha bhav bhavet. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.